All right, so let's get right into it. Today, we're going to break down Ramit Sethi's whole philosophy on personal finance, using his journal as our map. And look, forget everything you've ever heard about cutting back on lattes. This is about something completely different. It's about actually designing a life you're excited to live and then figuring out how to use your money to make that happen.
I mean, really, think about that for a second. When was the last time? For most of us, the word money just brings up stress, right? Guilt, anxiety, or maybe just, total boredom. The idea of actually getting excited about it feels kind of out there. But what if it didn't have to be?
So, here's our game plan. We're going to walk through 5 steps together. We'll start with why we're all so anxious about money in the first place, and then we'll build a totally new system, step by step, to help you create your own version of a rich life. Okay, first up, let's tackle the big one, the money anxiety problem. We really need to understand why all the typical advice out there, just make a budget, usually falls flat and honestly just makes us feel worse.
It feels like the entire world is screaming at us about what we should cut. Don't buy that coffee, cancel that subscription, skip the guacamole. It's this constant drumbeat of restriction. And all it really does is turn money into this source of constant low-grade guilt. Every time you pull out your wallet, you're second-guessing yourself. It's just an exhausting way to live your life.
And this slide, this is the whole problem, right here. We spend 99% of our mental energy on these tiny $3 questions, just agonizing over them. Meanwhile, the huge, life-changing $30,000 questions, the ones that could actually change everything, they get completely ignored. We're just pouring all our energy into the wrong bucket. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's start talking about the solution. And this is where we flip the entire script. Instead of starting with what you need to cut, we're going to start by dreaming about what you want to spend more on. Yeah, even extravagantly. So, what even is a rich life? Well, it's not about private jets or fancy yachts, unless, that's what you're into. The whole point is that it's your personal, unique vision for an amazing life. It's a picture of the future that should genuinely get you fired up.
And this is where the real fun begins. The very first step is to just let yourself dream a little. Seriously, grab a notebook and just write down everything you would do or buy or experience if money was no object. No filters, no, that's unrealistic. Just get it all down on paper.
And this is so key, because a rich life has a huge range. Sure, it could be a $1,000 sweater or an epic vacation, but it could also be something small, like buying an extra phone charger for every room, or a second coffee press so you don't have to wash the one you have every single day. It's about the big splurges and the tiny conveniences that just make life a little bit better.
Okay, so you have this awesome vision for your rich life, but there's often this huge wall standing between you and actually living it. And that wall, it's your own mind. We've got to uncover these hidden, unconscious beliefs about money that are secretly pulling all the strings.
These are what Ramit calls invisible scripts, and that's exactly what they are. These little stories and rules about money that are playing on a loop in the back of your head. You probably don't even know they're there. Stuff like, rich people are evil, or I'm just not a math person, or you have to struggle to make money.
I love this analogy because it's so perfect. These beliefs are the water we're swimming in. They feel so normal, so real, that we don't even notice them. But they are shaping every single financial decision we make, whether we realize it or not. So how in the world do you find these invisible scripts? Well, here's a super simple but incredibly powerful tool. It's called the 5 whys. You start with the frustration you have about money, and you just keep asking why, like a toddler. By the time you get to that 4th or 5th why, you've usually dug past all the surface-level stuff and hit the real emotional root cause. So, now that we've done some of that deep digging, we can start building. It's time to create a brand new operating system for your finances. A set of personal money rules that make your decisions automatic and, best of all, guilt-free. This whole system is built on about 10 personal money rules. Just take a look at some of Ramit's for inspiration. You've got the big strategic stuff like how much to save and invest, but then you have these very personal rules like never question spending money on appetizers. And my favorite one, marry the right person. I mean, come on, that's not in a typical finance book, but he's right. It might be the biggest financial decision you ever make.
And this is absolutely crucial. You cannot just copy and paste someone else's rules. That totally misses the point. Your rules have to be born from your values and your vision of a rich life. In fact, if your rules don't sound a little bit strange to other people, you're probably not being specific enough.
Now, if you're wondering where to start, here's a really simple grid to help you think through it. The idea is just to make sure you're balancing your needs today with your goals for the future. So you'll want rules for accumulating money and rules for spending money for both the short term and the long term. It's all about creating that balance.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Because once you have your vision, you've checked your beliefs, and you have your rules in place, you unlock a kind of superpower, the ability to focus only on what actually matters.
See, the real magic of this system is that it puts most of your financial life on autopilot. The saving happens automatically, the investing happens automatically, and you have clear rules for your spending. So all that mental energy you used to waste on those $3 questions, it's now free. You can point it at something way more important.
And you're going to point that energy at what Ramit calls big wins. These are just the 5 to 10 key decisions in your life that will give you absolutely massive results. The idea is simple. If you nail these big things, you can pretty much get all the small stuff wrong and still come out way, way ahead.
So he suggests focusing your energy in these 5 areas. And it makes so much sense, right? Negotiating just one 10% raise at your job is worth more financially than a lifetime of skipping lattes. That's leverage. Every minute you waste agonizing over a small purchase is a minute you're not spending on advancing your career or optimizing your investments. And that's a huge cost.
And if you want the perfect example of a big win, this is it. Taking 1 hour, just one time, to set up an automated system that sends your money where it needs to go, that single hour of effort could be worth hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of dollars over your lifetime. That, my friends, is a big win.
So I want to leave you with this question. After everything we've talked about, what is one small, insignificant $3 question that you can give yourself permission to stop worrying about, starting right now, so you can focus on the big wins that will actually build your rich life?